All right, start with your tracing paper. Using a pencil, lightly draw a straight line for a guideline. I don't know if you can't even see, there it is, it's there, but it's a light line. Then, what you do, grab your fine point pen, ultra fine point, I'm sorry, this guy right here. All you're going to do is you're going to slide this underneath your line, and you're going to trace. Line up the line with the letters, and I want you to really make sure you do the following. Throw those dots in there, do the overlapping corners. The S is a great one because there's so many curves in it, but it's an awesome opportunity to go dot crazy. Just do the outline of the letters. Now, what I do is, when you're doing hand lettering, it's kind of best to have the letters in the word either touch or almost touch. Keep them really close. And I'm going to spell site plan. And when I choose to do this, I do exactly what I'm doing here. I will trace it on a separate piece of paper, and then I will slide it underneath my drawing and trace the whole thing onto the drawing. And the reason for that is it's real easy to misspell stuff when you're doing this, and this gives you a chance to kind of check your work. So notice I've got the letters very close together. I give a decent space between them, so the letters almost touching and the words give me a good space. Remember, a couple dots. Overlap the corners. Oh, you can overhang that one a little. See, in this case, I went ahead and went right on top of the letter. Now, these letters can look nice. I find, even though I gave you different copies in there, it works best when you do a sans serif letter, and I'll show you the difference for those of you that don't know what it is. You know, I think this is this Arial in Windows, like the mermaid? I would call this Helvetica, but I don't know if Windows does. All right. Once I would have that, then I could slide it underneath my drawing and go ahead and trace the whole word onto my site plan. Okay. Disregard most of the washed out greens and yellows, but if you take a look at Pool, all right, when you take those outline letters and you put a little color in them, put a little character to them, they actually look kind of sharp, and it's a nice effect. You won't be coloring for a while, but these do work well with color. You guys you've mastered this particular skill, so let's move on to the next one. This time, I want you to put a couple guidelines down, and as far as size, this one's going to be a little trickier. All right, so I'm going to put a couple guidelines down and put them, my hand lettering's not what it used to be, 3/4 of an inch apart. You can kind of get a sense. There's the top one, there's the bottom one. I don't have a quarter, but it's probably about the diameter of a quarter apart. I'm going to be doing some hand lettering, even though I told you not to. And the key with this the one I'm about to do, is it needs to be big enough to make it look nice, but small enough to make it easy to draw. Anytime you get bigger than about an inch for hand lettering, just total hand lettering, it's really tough to make it look good. If we make this too small, the final product won't look really good. Now I'm just going to take my fat Sharpie, and I'm just going to write Now, this is in an architectural print, which is kind of becoming a dying art. You'll see it in cartoons. It doesn't really have to be like that. It could even be. Remember to use your guidelines, though, to get a sense. It's really tough for me not to draw. And I just printed that out. Not particularly great. That one's okay, but not that great. I don't want this. This isn't the final product. What you then do, take a piece of tracing paper, lay it over these, and do that same trace around the outside edge. And leave a little space there. Now you probably did, you might have done similar drawings when you were a kid. And you might have to make a few adjustments here or there. But all we're doing is just going around the outside edge of our letters that we drew with the fat Sharpie. And about the only thing you can use these hand traced letters drawings on yours for, if you choose to, is the sheet title, where it says site plan, where it says, exterior view. You wouldn't want to say reference north or anything like that, or draw the letters of your scale. You can't do this with small letters. They just don't look good. Even if you were to draw them big and then scale them down in GIMP, it still wouldn't look that great. They just don't do well when you go tiny. And the end result looks like that, which is kind of cool. I mean, that's I prefer that to, well, of course I can't do it like this. It's a nice look, you know, even better than the hand ones. And then this one, where the letters aren't particularly good to begin with, should actually look kind of cool. You know, go ahead and make the, you know, trace the blobs, make the letters a little fatter, put those dots in, and if you get in trouble, you can adjust it a little. I'm not gonna, you know what, I will, hang on, it doesn't take that long. And again, I'm being a little loose with this, which is okay. And again, I mean, I think that this, that's not going to help. That's going to crash. You know, I think even this lettering here looks better than that lettering there. I like the top one best of all. But just tracing some hand-drawn letters, these hand-drawn letters, and just tracing around them, all of a sudden starts to give them some character that makes them look a little better.